They wouldn't give it up out there, so I'm real proud of them. And Mike McCarthy, he just won't let them not think they're playing for the Super Bowl out there. He won't let them do it. So proud of that. Proud of the coach. Thanks, guys. It's good. Well, Merry Christmas, too, every one of you.
Merry Christmas, Jerry.
Dude, he came out, tried to do that. He tried to give us a one statement and bail. Which, what does that mean? That's not like Jerry typically. We stopped him. We got a couple more questions with him, but he tried to just give that as his only statement and then went, thanks, guys, and tried to walk.
You could drag him back in quite easy.
Right, but he never does that. He usually comes out with an opening statement and then stands there and takes questions. We had to stop him. And it's like, what does that mean?
Maybe to go to the bathroom.
I don't think that's what it was. It's more, did he not want to tip his hand that he loves what McCarthy's doing and he's keeping him? Or did he not want to tip his hand that, man, after a game like that, we're not bringing him back? It just seemed like he wanted to minimize. He didn't want to, he wanted to play a little more close to the vest. He didn't want to say whatever he wanted to say.
I don't know what it was, but he has said, a few times this year how, about how he likes how the team is playing or whatever, how they're fighting, competing, all that crap. So I mean, he has said that several times this year. I'm starting to think that he's coming back. I'm way above 50% now.
Way above? What are you putting it at right now?
60, 65.
Man, that's depressing.
85. I don't know. Everybody on Twitter last night seemed to think it was 100.
Yeah, that's how everybody's talking. I'm not there yet. In fact, I think last night proves McCarthy knows he's not coming back. He knows that as of right now, he's not coming back.
Now, you think this. Now, why don't you explain this?
Okay, so last night's offense, I think when we go back and look at the tape today, that offense is going to look so wildly different from the way that McCarthy has typically run things that it was noticeable how just different I think everything was with him. Last night, let's just look at right out of the gate. I felt like this was a game where they were going to run the ball a lot, that they were going to be able to lean into the run and have a lot of success with that. And I was certain that was going to be the approach in this one. And then they come out and they throw the ball 3 times pretty quick, where it was just, okay, here we are, get the ball out, 1, 2, 3, ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball. It was all very timing based, very heavy West Coast concepts of get into your drop and get the ball out. And it was noticeable within the first 3 plays. I was like, okay, that's odd. Then I'm watching them run these really tight, condensed formations that they had not run all year. They've had the widest formation set in the NFL all year. That Detroit, San Francisco, the Rams, like those are teams that run the tightest formations in the NFL. Dallas has consistently been the widest spread formation in the NFL this year. Last night, they were playing much tighter. They were playing condensed formations much more frequently. It was about 30% of the time they were playing a condensed formation. And they've only done that typically on the season. It's been a little under 20% of the time. So they were doing it a lot more yesterday. They had run 6 receiver or 4+ receiver sets, which were a staple of McCarthy when he first got to Green Bay, where he would run 4 or 5 receiver sets. They ran 4+ receiver sets 6 times yesterday. Heading into the season, or heading into this game, they'd run them 25 times all year.
Were those 6 in the second half when CD was kind of in and out of the game?
No, it was split. It was first and second half.
I was thinking like maybe they ran it more when he was out because they actually
ran it a lot less in the fourth.
Okay.
But the first 3 quarters, they kind of split it up. But, I mean, that's 6 times. They did run it just 25. Heading into this game, it was about 2.5% of the time they ran it. There was a point yesterday where they'd run 15% of their plays from 4+ receiver sets. And then this is another tell right here. Heading into this game yesterday, Chop, Cooper Rush had thrown roughly 4% of his throws were slants. And roughly 11% of his throws were throws to the flats. Yesterday, 17% of his throws were to the flat. 11% of his throws were slants. Slant flats are a staple of McCarthy's offense from Green Bay that we have not really seen much here in Dallas. Even when he got his offense back, he has not run a ton of those. Angle routes, which are just the up, and it's basically what it sounds like. It's an angle route that you take. They had run 4% of those this year with Cooper Rush. He threw 12% of his passes yesterday on angle routes. So angles, slant flat combos, tighter formations, get the ball out quickly, doing different things like I'm going to line up Kevontae Turpin in the backfield, and then I'm going to run him inside. I'm not pitching it outside. I'm running it inside with Kevontae Turpin, which is something he did with Ty Montgomery in Green Bay. And I look at it and I just start going.
Montgomery.
For North Texas guy, Ty Montgomery, who went to Stanford. I look at that, all these different aspects of it, and it's like, what does McCarthy do? This to me looked like, and it looked really obvious early on that, okay, this is different. This is different than what they've run this year. And so now I'm starting to ask myself, when you go out there and the playoffs are out now, you're done. You've been eliminated. When you go out there and run the offense looking like this, that to me says you're going out your way, you're going down swinging, and you're going out there to say, this is what my offense looks like. This is what I wanted to do. We had to run the ball. We were trying to do different things. We couldn't take the risks. But now that everything's on the table, it is what it is. We're running the offense the way I want to run it.
Is there a chance they just saw something in Tampa that they want to exploit?
I don't think so, because it was the same concepts defensively that Carolina ran, and you didn't run it that way. Carolina and
maybe they saw something in the Carolina game that they could have exploited.
But I mean, they did take advantage of Carolina. They had success beating Carolina, running the ball and doing different things with the passing attack. Like, I mean, Rush had 3 touchdowns against Carolina. Mm-hmm. And so you watch this game yesterday and it's like, man, this looks much more similar to what McCarthy's classical West Coast offense has always been. And it makes me wonder, all right, is this him saying, I know that as of now, I'm not coming back, and so I need to just do things my way over the last 3 weeks to try and save my job? Or is it him saying, I know I'm gone, and I need to put this portfolio together to show to other teams that says, hey, most of the year I wasn't able to do what I wanted. You saw what happened. As soon as we got eliminated, I put this out there, and you saw the success we had, and this is what it is. Because this was a different offense that was being run yesterday.
It's possible. It's possible. I think that it's more likely than not that he returns now.
Why change it so much, though? Why wait till you're eliminated and all of a sudden everything is different in the passing game?
I mean, that's why it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. That makes me. Wouldn't logically. I'm not saying this is the case, but logically, wouldn't you think of it and go, all right, if you're eliminated and all the passing concepts are changing, doesn't that sound like somebody who's trying to put something out there? Like, doesn't that sound like why would you change? Why not just keep going with whatever you're going with, unless you're trying to show something?
Well, maybe he's hedging a bet. Maybe he's hedging a bet.
But that tells me at the very least he's not comfortable that he's 100% back. He doesn't. I don't think that tells me a decision hasn't been made.
Oh, I don't think it. No. Yeah, I agree. I don't think the decision's been made.
Boy, he just sounded, and we'll play this back. Chris, we'll get a clip of this. I don't think we'll play the whole thing. But the McCarthy pregame interview last night with Brad Shan.
Okay, yeah, this is weird because I got a little.
He sounded devastated.
He did sound down. He sounded very down. But the idea from he was angry at Brad.
Oh yeah, and like I said, we'll play it at 9. But there was a clip in there where it seems like he gave Brad one of the answers he typically gives us. Where it's like, I'm not getting into philosophical stuff, but he got a little testy with it.
Okay, but
either way, I think that we'll go. I'll go back. I'll look on Post Hut for tomorrow. I think we're gonna see this. This looked like McCarthy putting it on the table and saying, "All right, here it is. This is what I'm running. This is what I wanted to run. This is what I wasn't able to because of personnel or whatever else." And I just once we were eliminated, I said, "I'm going down my way." But this was a ton of different concepts that he has not been running all year. Ton of different formation looks, tighter formations, more like, heavier receiver sets, more timing based, quick, get the ball out West Coast concepts, slant flat combos, which he ran a ton in Green Bay, running his receivers as backs out of the backfield like he did with Ty Montgomery, running Turpin inside instead of on the perimeter like he had been this year. It all looked very much like a different offense to me. And so just something to notice. I think it is indicative that he knows that he's not secure, and he's got to either fight for his job and go down with like, hey, this is what I can do, And this is why you need to, at the very least, you could say this, Chop. You know how we've gotten the idea that McCarthy could be back, but he's not going to be allowed to run the offense?
Yeah.
This could be the factor of just, here's me putting on tape why I should run the offense next year.
Could be. From the Franklin injury attorney's fan text, if that's the case, does that indicate McCarthy isn't the problem? It's McCarthy's offense versus Dak's offense.
I'll say this, 682, when you say doesn't that indicate isn't the problem because it's the man upstairs dictating how the offense runs? I don't think that this is Jerry dictating how the offense runs. I think this is Mike trying to play safer football until they were out of it. And now that they're out of it, he feels like he can take risks and just, we have nothing to lose. I can run a more aggressive offense with these players that aren't the normal guys.
Right. But I guess the other thing is, they didn't make the game plan yesterday. They didn't know they were eliminated.
No, but I think that they've got stuff in the game plan, and I think his call sheet changed. Like I think he's got stuff in there, and he just leaned into everything that because you obviously pare down a game plan. You've got the first 15 plays that are scripted, but I think he came out. He wanted to attack a certain way, and he went at it. And I think that he called this game very much like this is what my offense looks like.
Okay.
This was a game where it would have made a lot of sense. They didn't have success doing it, but this was a game that made a lot of sense to try to run the ball. And they didn't do it. And McCarthy historically has not been a big run the ball guy, no matter what he says about Kellen Moore.
No, not really.